Welcome to Unmasking the Gods, lifting the veil on religion, power, and myth.
There is a moment in the old stories where the universe holds its breath, where a god hangs suspended between what is known and what must be discovered. Odin hangs from the world tree, not as a prisoner, not as a victim, but as a question asked directly to existence itself. The wind tears at him. The night offers no comfort. Below him, the roots twist into a darkness older than memory. Above him, the branches stretch into realms untouched by certainty. For 9 nights he remains there, starving, bleeding, waiting, not because he is weak, but because he is willing. The spear in his side is his own. The rope is his own doing. No god commands this sacrifice. No fate demands it. Odin offers himself to himself, because knowledge of this depth cannot be taken. It must be paid for. The runes do not appear immediately. Wisdom never does. First comes silence, then doubt, then the slow unraveling of identity. Hanging there, Odin is stripped of certainty, stripped of comfort, stripped of the illusion that power protects from cost. This is the truth hidden in the myth. Wisdom is not light. Wisdom is pressure. It reshapes whatever tries to hold it. And Odin is not alone in this pattern. Prometheus steals fire and pays in chains, learning that enlightenment is never neutral. Inanna descends through 7 gates, surrendering power piece by piece until nothing false remains. Quetzalcoatl spills his own blood to ignite creation, proving that life itself begins with sacrifice. Different cultures. Same shape, a descent, a wound, a revelation. The ancient world understood something we have forgotten, that transformation requires loss, and that loss must be chosen. Odin does not hang hoping something will happen. He hangs because he knows something must. When the runes finally rise, they do not glow like rewards. They surface like truths that were always there, waiting for a mind willing to break open enough to see them. Odin falls from the tree changed, not victorious, not purified, but altered. He carries the runes inside him now, and with them, the weight of knowing too much. This is where the myth ends for most tellings, but this is where its real work begins. Because Odin's sacrifice was never meant to stay in the past. It was meant to echo forward. Every transformation casts a shadow, and Odin's knowledge carried one. The runes gave him sight, but sight comes with a burden. To see how reality works is to lose the comfort of ignorance. The ancient storytellers knew this. They did not describe Odin celebrating. They described him enduring. Because wisdom changes the shape of the mind, and not always gently. This is where humans begin to repeat the myth incorrectly. We assume pain itself contains wisdom, that suffering automatically transforms us. We stay too long in relationships that hollow us out. We push ourselves past exhaustion. We tolerate wounds we never chose, and then we call it growth. But pain alone teaches nothing. Pain only reveals. Odin's suffering mattered because it was intentional. Structured, bounded, he chose the cost before paying it. He entered the descent knowing what he sought. Most humans do not. We fall into suffering accidentally, then search the wreckage for meaning. We bleed without clarity, hang without purpose, descend without direction. This is the shadow of the myth. The half-sacrifice. Endurance without intention becomes damage. This is why cycles repeat, why lessons seem never learned, why the same wounds reopen in different forms. We are reenacting Odin's sacrifice without Odin's awareness. The myth warns us quietly, do not confuse suffering with wisdom. Do not confuse collapse with transformation. The wound is not the lesson. The intention is. Odin did not break himself to feel pain. He broke himself to see, and that distinction changes everything. When suffering lacks direction, it consumes identity. When suffering is chosen, it reshapes it. This is the shadow humanity lives in. Believing pain will save us, while never asking what we are actually seeking. And this shadow grows darker in the modern world, because now the tree has changed shape. The world tree still exists, but its roots now run through servers and cables. Its branches glow with screens and signals. Humanity hangs from this new tree daily, seeking meaning, seeking recognition, seeking something that never quite arrives. We sacrifice attention instead of blood, identity instead of flesh, boundaries instead of certainty. Every post is a small offering. Every scroll a silent prayer. But unlike Odin, we do not know what we are asking for. The digital world rewards exposure, not insight. Engagement, not transformation. We give more and more of ourselves, hoping the runes will rise, but they never do. Because this tree is not designed to reveal truth. It is designed to keep us suspended. We hang without knowing why. We bleed in fragments. We endure without a ritual, without structure, without an ending. Burnout becomes the modern version of the sacrifice that never resolves. We feel emptied, but not changed, exhausted, but not awakened. The ancient pattern repeats at scale. But stripped of its wisdom, we are not meant to hang forever. Odin did not. He descended, he endured, he returned. But the digital age traps us in the middle of the ritual. All sacrifice, no revelation. This is the danger of unconscious repetition. When myth becomes habit instead of guide, it consumes instead of teaches. The problem is not technology. The problem is intention. Without intention, the sacrifice becomes endless. Without boundaries, the descent never turns into a return. And yet, the myth still offers a way through. When Odin stepped down from the tree, he did so quietly, carrying not power but understanding. The runes did not tell him what to do. They showed him how becoming works. Transformation requires clarity before cost. This is the awakening humanity has lost. Not all sacrifices are equal. Not all pain is meaningful. Only the sacrifice that aligns with intention reshapes the self. Awakening begins the moment you ask, what am I willing to give up, and why? Not everything deserves your suffering. Not every tree deserves your body. Not every wound deserves your loyalty. You are not meant to bleed endlessly. You are meant to choose. When sacrifice is chosen, it stops being destruction and becomes design. When descent is intentional, return becomes possible. Awakening is not light pouring in. It is clarity settling down. It is knowing when to let go and when to step back. It is understanding that wisdom does not come from how much you endure, but from what you are willing to surrender. The world tree still stands before you, ancient, silent, waiting, but now you see it clearly. You do not hang to break. You hang to see. And when you have seen enough, you step down. Not as someone who suffered, but as someone who chose. That is the difference between repetition and awakening, between bleeding and becoming, between losing yourself and finding truth carved into who you are. The myth ends there, but the choice does not. It waits. Every time transformation calls your name,